Howdy folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today for you I have a new Sprocket Community Steel video. And this is where I just take time, show some tanks off that people have sent me, tanks I've asked if I could air, things of that nature. And today's first tank, I am showing off a Char D25B from Nobody. Okay, actually it's Nobody. But either ways, so we got a French tank, looks very similar to something like a British Mark I. And yeah, you know, he actually took the time to do the side sponsons as well, even though they're machine gun side sponsons. Look sort of like 50 cal. And then it's got a 75mm gun mounted on the front in a casemate. And that's what this is. It is a World War I casemate tank. And its mobility's, well, pretty trash, but World War I. And that being said, I actually had quite a few problems driving this. But that being said as well, I think it looks pretty damn good. He did a really good job on the general shape of the vehicle, the way he did the armor plates for the side sponsons, the way he did the armor plates for the side skirts, the whole 9 yards. I mean, he really took the time to make this tank actually look pretty dang good. He even did a pretty good job on the paint schematic there with the color and even having the French markings in various locations of the vehicle. I'm going to drive around here just a little bit more. I'm going to fire the cannon off a couple of times, but I really don't end up firing at anything because, well, yeah, I got stuck. But other than that, it is a good looking tank. It's just, I'm old and shit and don't know how to drive. Now the next vehicle is the MLLT by Shelfka. And this is, well, it looks like a Russian-inspired light tank. It is really fast, but I definitely found some problems driving this thing as the vehicle just felt like any hill or terrain resistance or whatever would just stop the vehicle from moving. That being said, it is really light and it is really fast, especially for a late war tank. But yeah, it just does not have any armor. It's just a pure mobility machine with actually a pretty decent gun on it. I'm just running it here on Taiga, but it didn't turn out very well as I just tried the swarm tactics because I think I spawned in 7 of them. I can't quite remember what the count was when I did the video here. I think it was 7, but it may have been 8. But yeah, as you can see here, it is a pretty fast tank. It's also really low to the ground as well, but it's also really thin armored. I'm actually surprised I just bounced that shot. I got lucky there. Now, one flaw with the gun, though, I've noticed is it really doesn't penetrate much. I am actually struggling against a Panther, folks. The next vehicle is a return vehicle from Nicer. This is the PL01, and he actually did a pretty good job on this. It really looks just like a PL01, well, except for one small problem there. The casing that goes around the gun barrel does not move with the gun barrel. Other than that, it actually looks really good. It looks almost like the real thing, or at least the real concept. It was just a dressed up tank. And he even took the time to do the port on the rear. You can see it there. I can't quite remember if I got footage of a zoom in on the port. And even took time to make it look like it even has headlights using vision blocks. So it's actually really interesting how this vehicle was done. It's really cool, 120mm gun, decent reload speed. And just in general terms, I'm just really surprised of how close it looks to the real PL01. I mean, it's obviously not spot on, but it is pretty dang good. And even has the remote 50 cal turret on the top. The armor is actually not bad either. I did bounce quite a few shots with this thing, even though it is a lighter tank. One issue I had, though, is, well, the only thing I could really spot with it is it just felt kind of sluggish when it came to acceleration. Yeah, see right there, I bounced a shot. Here, we're going to fire off this 120mm cannon. I mean, it's just dominating here. Now, I did lose one of the PLs, but then the rest of the PLs, well, there was 2 left, and we pretty much wiped the floor with the Crom Tildas. Let's move on to the next vehicle here. The next vehicle is a Weasel ERC, and I'm probably going to say it wrong, but it's Moloti, I think. I don't know. I'm butchering that. I'm sorry, folks. I'm pretty bad with names. But it is based on a real-world vehicle, as the Weasel was actually a produced vehicle. It was an air-deportable vehicle that was used by West Germany and currently used by Germany itself. Once upon a time, East and West Germany, yada, 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 Cold War history, blah, blah, blah. But it actually does have an autocannon on it, although I found the autocannon not to be really effective. It does penetrate, but it just doesn't seem to do much in the way of damage. I guess that's one issue with autocannons. The reload, well, could be a little bit faster, but yeah, what can I say? I mean, it's Sprocket and the limitations that we have currently in Sprocket. We don't actually have true legit autocannons, and the only way to make this more like a true legit autocannon is to edit the file, which I don't like doing that. I don't like editing my tank files. But it's still a really nice looking vehicle, and it's got some pretty good pep to it as well. I didn't really test out its max speed, but it accelerates pretty dang quickly. The last vehicle in today's video is from Grandma Moses, and it is the T1 Cunningham. And actually, it looks really dang good. The only thing I really wasn't fond of is, my God, the gun performance is very horrid. You can only traverse and elevate the gun. You can only do one at a time. You can't do both. So it's either you traverse or elevate the gun. And the reload speed is, oh my God, it is so slow for a 37mm gun. I just don't understand why the reload speed is so slow. And I actually did have a couple issues trying to get a good ranging in here. But otherwise, it's actually a really good looking rendition of a T1 Cunningham for what we have available currently in game. Now, I mean, that being said, we don't really have everything available to make a T1 Cunningham, but Grandma Moses actually did a pretty good job on this vehicle. And it's got some decent mobility. It does actually move around fairly well, even though I'm not moving around here too much on ambush, as you can see right now, as I'm just trying to take shots at the enemy that's coming towards us. I just had so much problem getting good gun performance out of this. I'm not sure if it's just me, my 37mm guns, or how I got them balanced or whatever, but the 37mm guns I have at the interwar period just seem to perform better. But yeah, really take a good look at this vehicle here of how Grandma Moses did this. It is definitely pretty interesting. I'd rather like the look of it. Me personally, I'd probably tweak a couple things to make it perform a little better, but other than that, it's not a bad looking vehicle. Anyway, folks, so there you go. That is another Sprocket Community Steel video made by you, the folks of the community who makes these different vehicles and sends them to me. And don't forget, send me your designs in Discord and a screenshot so I know who they belong to and what I'm featuring. Anyway, folks, thank you very much for tuning in, and have yourself a nice day.